Hello students and welcome back to the science world. So we are again here to start our new chapter, that is chapter 4, metals and the non-metals. So what are metals and non-metals, that we will discuss later on. Firstly, we'll start from the very basic. So every substance on this earth is made up of one or more than one element. Like oxygen and nitrogen gas, these are made up of oxygen and nitrogen. But when we talk about water or the H2O, that is made up of hydrogen and oxygen. Parallelly, talking about sugar, that has carbon, hydrogen and oxygen as the basic elements. Now, there are about 118 different known elements till date in the periodic table, and majority of them are metals and rest are non-metals and the metalloids. So basically, we are having the elements classified into three types: the metals, non-metals and the metalloids. So let's have a quick look at the periodic table. So this is our periodic table. On the left hand side of it and in the center of it, the metals are placed, and on the very right, all the non-metals are placed. Hydrogen being an exception, though it is a non-metal, still it is kept in the left hand side. And then the elements close to the zigzag line, you are seeing the black zigzag line around the yellow ones. These elements show the properties of both the metals and the non-metals, and these are called metalloids. Some common examples of the metalloids are boron, silicon, germanium, arsenic, antimony, tellurium. But this is not that much in the course of study. In this chapter, we shall focus on the metals and the non-metals only. So let's start our study for the metals and non-metals. So here comes the metals and non-metals. Firstly, we are having the metals. Now what are metals? A metal is a material that is typically hard, opaque, shiny and has good electrical and thermal conductivity. Metals are generally malleable. That is, they can be hammered or pressed permanently out of shape and can be converted into sheets without breaking or cracking. Also, they are fusible, that is able to be fused or melted. They are ductile also, that is they can be drawn into thin wires. We are having a total of 118 elements in the periodic table, and about 91 of them are metals. Some examples of the metals are gold, silver, iron, copper, aluminium, etc. And then comes the non-metals. Now what are non-metals? A non-metal is a chemical element that mostly lacks metallic attributes. All the properties that are shown by the metals, these are lacking in the non-metals. The non-metals actually show somewhat opposite properties from the metals. Physically, non-metals tend to be highly volatile. That is, they are very easily vaporized. They are having very low elasticity, and these are good insulators of heat and electricity. They do not conduct. The metals are good conductors of heat and electricity, but the non-metals, these are good insulators of the heat and electricity. Now, among the periodic table, 17 elements are generally classified as non-metals. Most of them are gases, including the hydrogen, helium, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon, chlorine, argon, krypton, xenon and radon. One is a liquid, that is bromine. Bromine is liquid at the room temperature. And a few are solids: carbon, phosphorus, sulfur, selenium and iodine being among the solids. So let's study some properties of the metals and the non-metals. Firstly, we'll study the physical properties, and after that we will move on to the chemical properties. So first comes the physical properties of metals. So the metals are generally hard and very strong. They are strong enough to bear heavy loads, or we can say they are having high tensile strength. Some common examples include the iron, copper, gold, etc. Also, we are having some exceptions. The sodium and potassium, they are soft solids and can be cut with a knife. Then the mercury, that is liquid under ordinary conditions. So these being the exceptions, otherwise the metals are quite hard. Then comes the other property, that is luster. Metals have luster. That means they shine in their pure state. And this property of shining is called metallic luster. So metals are lustrous. That means they are shiny. Some common examples include the gold, copper, silver, iron, etc. If we rub them with a sandpaper, we'll find that these are having a shiny surface. Next comes the malleability. Metals are malleable. That means they can be beaten into thin sheets with hammer. And this property is called malleability. Some examples are iron, copper, gold and aluminium. Even we are having the aluminium foils in our homes also. That usually our mothers use to wrap the food items so that the food remains hot for long time. Next comes the property of ductility. So metals are ductile. That is, they can be drawn into thin wires. The metals are generally flexible, and that is why they can be drawn into thin wires. And some examples include again the copper, gold, silver, iron, etc. Now, can you draw a wire from a piece of wood or coal? No, because these are brittle materials and they are not flexible. They simply break on hammering. Then the metals are also good conductor of heat as well as electricity. That is, they allow heat and electricity to pass through it easily. Since the metals are good conductor of heat, due to this property, we use metal utensils in our kitchens, as heat supplied at one place of the utensil is conducted all over it. But we cannot use a frying pan made of, say, cardboard, because it is a bad conductor of heat. And when placed over fire, it doesn't distribute the heat all over the pan. Instead, it starts burning due to the localized heat. Again, the metals are good conductor of electricity as well. They allows an electric current to flow or pass through them easily. And silver is the best conductor of electricity. Next best is copper and then aluminium and so on. Then comes the density. The metals are generally having high densities, but they differ widely in their densities. Some metals like gold, silver, mercury and iron, they have high densities. But some metals like sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium and aluminium, they have low densities. Also, the melting and boiling points of the metals are quite high. The examples being iron, copper, gold, aluminium, etc. One another property of the metals is that they are sonorous. It means they make sound when hit with an object. For example, the bells, they are made up of metals, they make sound. Also, the strings of the guitar, they are also made with the metals. They are sonorous. And then comes the physical properties of non-metals. Talking about non-metals, they are quite different from the metals and they have physical properties almost opposite to those of the metals. Where the metals are usually hard or strong, the non-metals are generally soft. The examples are the carbon and the phosphorus. Then comes the malleability. Where the metals are malleable, the non-metals are not malleable. They are quite brittle. That means they break easily. When tapped with a hammer, they break down into a powdery mass. So how can we convert the non-metals into thin sheets? We can't really convert the non-metals into thin sheets. The examples of the non-metals include the sulfur and the phosphorus. Then comes the property of ductility, where the metals are very ductile. They can be drawn into thin wires. The non-metals are not ductile. They cannot be drawn into thin wires. The examples being the silicon and boron. Again, where the metals are sonorous, they make sound when hit with some other object. The non-metals are not sonorous. It means they cannot produce sound when hit with some other object, say a hammer. Examples include bromine and fluorine. Then coming to the density, where the metals were having high density, the non-metals are generally having low density. Next comes the boiling and melting point, where the metals were having high melting and boiling points. Here the non-metals are having very low melting and boiling points. And the examples, bromine, fluorine again. Next is the conduction of heat and electricity. Where the metals are very good conductors of heat and electricity, the non-metals are generally very bad conductors of heat and electricity, or we can say that the non-metals are generally the good insulators of the heat and electricity. The examples being iodine, neon, etc. Now, when we have discussed the physical properties of metals and non-metals, we are also having some exceptional cases. Let's discuss the exceptional cases separately. When we are talking about the electrical conductivity, we said that the metals are very good conductor of electricity while the non-metals are bad conductor of electricity. But carbon, being a non-metal in the form of graphite, it conducts electricity just like the metals. So it is an exception. Then comes the property of luster. We said that the metals are lustrous while the non-metals are not lustrous. They are lusterless. The iodine is a non-metal. Still, it is lustrous, having a shiny surface, just like the metals. Then comes the hardness and the softness. We said that the metals are generally hard and the non-metals are generally soft. But alkali metals, they are metals, but they are not hard, they are soft, just like the non-metals. The lithium, sodium and potassium, they are that soft that they can be cut with a knife. Again, the carbon, which is a non-metal, that should be soft, but in the form of diamond, it is extremely hard, just like the metals. And diamond is actually the hardest substance we are having. Then comes the physical state. We said that the metals are generally solid, but the mercury is a metal which is liquid at room temperature. Then comes the melting and boiling point. The metals are having high melting and boiling points, but the sodium, potassium, cesium and galliums, they are the examples of metals which are having low melting points. While the non-metals, they are having quite low melting and boiling point, but diamond being an example of a non which is having a very high melting and boiling point. Then comes the density. The metals are having high density, but the alkali metals, lithium, sodium and potassium, they are having low density just like the non-metals. So these were some exceptions from the metals and the non-metals. So today we have discussed the physical properties of metals and non-metals. In the next session, we will be discussing the chemical properties of metals and non-metals. So this is all for today. Thank you. So till the next class, take care, stay safe, stay healthy, and goodbye.